Hi guys, I'm Saumya and I'm back again with another video. I hope you're all doing well. I make a lot of bookish content on this channel, so do subscribe if you are a book lover and a reader. So in today's video, I'm going to give you a list of books that you can consider buying from the Great Indian Amazon sale or the Big Billion Days sale on Flipkart. So I have read some of these books, others I got for myself as well because I know they will not disappoint me. At least I have really high hopes from them. So let's get started with the video. The first book is The Little Friend by Donna Tartt. So after reading The Secret History by her, I am a Donna Tartt fan for life. So The Little Friend is the story of a girl named Harriet who is 12 and her brother got murdered 12 years ago and her family has not been able to get over his death. So this 12-year-old child sets out to find her brother's murderer and punish him. So it's a very dark plot of a 12-year-old child seeking revenge from her brother's murder. And since this has been written by Donna Tartt, I have such high expectations and I cannot wait to read this book, but I'm a tad bit nervous at the same time. The next book is My Year of Rest and Relaxation by Otessa Moshfegh. So as you can see, I have already read this book and I have annotated it quite a bit as well. So I love this book. So this is a story about a 20-something girl who is very privileged, like materially. She's very beautiful. She has a huge inheritance. She has an Ivy League degree. She lives in the poshest area of New York. So materially, she has everything one can ask for, but she is depressed. And that might be because both her parents are dead and she comes from a dysfunctional family, or there is another reason possibly, which is that she is in an on-again, off-again relationship with a toxic guy named Trevor who treats her like dirt. So our protagonist decides that she is going to go to sleep for 1 year, that she's going to sedate herself, and she hopes to emerge from this slumber a changed woman. She feels that it's going to reset her life or something, and the story is set in the year 2000. So for the most part, that's the premise of this book. We read about her experience through this 1 year, her thought process and everything. So this is a very depressing premise, I know, but I found this book to be very engaging and entertaining, and I loved every bit of it. It's a dark book, but I liked it a lot. The next book is Slouching Towards Bethlehem by Joan Didion. Now, I wish I had something wise and intelligent to say about this book, but in all honesty, the only reason I got this book is because I've been hearing a lot about Joan Didion and I wanted to discover her myself, and this is the book that caught my eye. This is non-fiction. I think she has written about her own life. That's what I was able to gather from the synopsis. You see, this book I got because I just want to get to know this author and her work. So I didn't give much thought into which book I was getting. This is like a completely new author that I am discovering, so that was my main focus. Anyway, if you have read this book or if you have read Joan Didion books, let me know your thoughts on them in the comments. I would love to read them. The next book is Chaurangi by Shankar, translated from Bengali to English by Arunava Sinha. So I love this book. Again, as you can see, I've read it and annotated it quite a bit. So this story is set in 1950s and it takes place in a big hotel named Shah Jahan in Calcutta. And we get to read about what goes on in this hotel, in the lives of the employees, guests, and basically the entire hotel ecosystem. This is a very, very good book. When I was reading it, it was a bit slow, but I savored every bit of it. And this is a period novel that takes you back in time in the most beautiful, heartbreaking, nostalgic manner. And every bit of this book is magical. And if you haven't read this book, please go for it. You will not be disappointed. The next book is Glass Town by Isabel Greenberg. So this is a very beautiful graphic novel. And in this book, Isabel Greenberg has reimagined the childhood of the Bronte siblings, and I'm sure that rings a bell. Bronte siblings are Emily and Charlotte Bronte, but they were 4 siblings: Emily, Charlotte, Branwell, and Anne. So Isabel Greenberg has reimagined their childhoods, and in this book, these 4 siblings keep creating their own stories, and Glass Town is one such town that they create. So we read story within story. So this book is kind of complex like that, but at the same time it's also very immersive and very engaging. And not to forget, absolutely stunning. The illustrations are to die for. They are absolutely beautiful, and this is like a total collector's edition that if you get for yourself, you are not going to regret it and you will enjoy every bit of it. The next book is Babel, an Arcane History by R.F. Kuang. So I'm currently reading this book. I am somewhere in the beginning of the story, and this is my second book by her because my first one was Yellow Face, which I found interesting for the most part because it was like such a page turner. So this book has a completely different topic, and I feel R.F. Kuang has a lot of range as an author, which is amazing. So the story begins in Canton in China, where an entire family perishes due to a plague known as Asiatic cholera, and the only surviving member of the family is this little boy who is saved by this Englishman named Professor Lovell. And Professor Lovell takes this boy under his wing. Why he does that is not revealed yet, but he takes this boy along with him to England, and we are not told the original Chinese name of this little boy, but he gets a new name on the ship en route to England, and that name is Robin Swift. So Robin Swift is to go to England and study and learn a lot. That is the deal that he has with Professor Lovell, and that's what the story is about. So this story is taking place in the 1800s, and it has a very dark academia, medieval vibe to it, which is why I got it. Another reason I got it was that I did find Yellow Face to be very interesting, and I wanted to just discover R.F. Kuang's work more. The next book is Before We Say Goodbye by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. So this is the fourth and the final installment in the Before the Coffee Gets Cold series. So if you have followed my channel, you know that I'm a big fan of the series. I love it so much, and this is the fourth and the final installment, and these books have to be read chronologically. The first book is called Before the Coffee Gets Cold, the second one is called Tales from the Cafe, the third one is Before Your Memory Fades, and this is the final one, Before We Say Goodbye. So the reason I'm mentioning this book in this video is that if you have read the first three books, the fourth one is out as well, so go read it. And if you haven't checked this series out, then please do. Nearly everybody who has read this series on my recommendation has come back to thank me because they loved it so much. So please check it out. So this is a very emotional series about people going back in time through this cafe called Funicula, and there are certain conditions for this time travel, but people do end up choosing to go back in time. So it's a very heartwarming and a very emotional series altogether. Next book is Kitchen by Banana Yoshimoto. So this little tiny book was on my TBR for the past few months because I've been hearing so many good things about this book that I got really curious. I'm also on my journey to explore more Japanese books and Japanese authors, so I thought why not go for this book. Gone are those days when Japanese literature only meant Murakami. There was a time when I used to think like that, but like it was really long back. Anyway, I'm so glad that I'm discovering different Japanese authors. This book came out quite a long time ago actually. It came out in 1987, so this is not a new release at all. And this is a story about mothers. It also has the theme of trans sexuality and of course kitchens. The next book is Sakina's Kiss by Vivek Shanbag, translated from Kannada to English by Srinath Perur. So I loved Ghachar Ghochar by Vivek Shanbag. I used to talk about that book quite a lot in my videos, and if you've seen some of my older videos, you'll know that. And even if you don't, I just told you. So when I found out that his new book has come out, I didn't waste any time and I got myself this copy, although I haven't read this book yet. So this is a story about a man named Venkat, and the story is set during a span of 4 days, and how his life becomes completely chaotic and things become topsy-turvy for him. And then there are some other dark themes as well in this book that I cannot really comment on because I haven't read them, but I'm very excited to read this book, and I must say that I have a lot of expectations from this book as well. And finally, I have Watchmen by Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons. So this is a graphic novel. I had my sights set on Watchmen for a very long time, for many years actually. I remember reading V for Vendetta by Alan Moore and David Lloyd, which is another graphic novel that blew me away, but at the same time it was very dark and unpleasant. So since that time I've had my sights set on this particular book, and I finally got it. It's the deluxe edition, as you can see, and this is what it looks like. So I expect nothing but brilliance from this book, but at the same time I'm nervous because I'm sure there will be moments that will be dark and grisly and disgusting, and I kind of don't look forward to them, but I feel they will be unavoidable and they will be there. So that was my list of books that you can consider when you shop for books from Amazon and Flipkart, and I'm pretty proud of my list, so do give my list a serious consideration. I think it's a good list. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. If you want to connect with me on my social media, the links are in the description box. I will see you in the next video very soon. Till then, bye bye, take care and stay safe.